the bottom of the ninth. Bases are loaded. It's up to Colton to win the game. He stepped up to the plate. He winds up. Here we go.
Nothing.
What happened?
Nothing on my bat.
I think we need something harder. Just chipped it. And go, Colton, go! Try again.
I'll try this.
All right, 4 times the charm. Here we go. Did we get it? Can you see it?
Yeah, I can.
Is it still on?
Yep.
All right, smash the other side with the more ice. The part with the more ice on it, right there.
Right here?
Go straight down, yeah. Hey! All right, bust it open. Let's see.
This.
You may wash it off a little bit.
Yeah.
Take a look at this. Ooh, it's frosty. Oh, I can't even tell if it's on. Hello?
Oi.
All right, Colton, take a look. Is it still on? It's been frozen for like, what, 3 days? Can you see the red reticle in there?
No.
No! I saw it earlier. Yeah, it's right there.
I didn't see
The
it.
red. See it?
Oh, now I can see it.
Yeah, so the only thing is, it's hard to look straight through it because you can kind of see it's a little blurry. There's a little kill flash on the front that I put on there, a honeycomb, and the water is still stuck in there, so it's kind of hard to shake that out. But once that dries, I think everything is in proper working order, right? Nice and fine?
Yep.
There you go. Survived the freeze test. Primary Arms SLX 1X MicroPrism sight. Not quite a red dot, not quite a scope. What is it? What are my thoughts after the last year of beating the crap out of this thing and running it on multiple calibers? Why would you choose this over a red dot? And what are some of the features that are maybe pros and cons to this type of prism design? Let's get into it. So like I said, I've had this for about a year now, actually ever since it launched, and it's really been a phenomenal sight. I've tested it on like 9mm platforms, I've tested it on 5.56, I've even thrown it on a 12 gauge shotgun, my Black Aces Tactical, where the rail sheared off all of the cheap shallow bolts on that top optics rail. Throwing this to the ground, holding on the optics rail right here that was holding on my MicroPrism from Primary Arms. Took a nice tumble, so this thing's still holding up good. Which was unfortunate because it dinged a small little ding on this front piece here, which makes it so my little kill flash here only threads on a couple of threads, which after a while just kind of pops off. But a kill flash is a honeycomb aluminum design piece right here. You can see that. And it goes on the end. It's designed specifically for this MicroPrism. So it extends it lengthwise, just a hair, but this allows you to look through it. And it's a little bit hazy because it's looking through all of the honeycomb, but you'll be surprised how clear it is considering the fact that you have an actual piece of aluminum stuck to the front of this MicroPrism. But what it does is makes it so you don't have as much of that glare if you're in said tactical situation where you didn't want glare, which maybe not. But either way, it's an upgrade. You can add it to it. Now, like you saw before in the beginning of the video, it handles a bat pretty well. Aluminum, surprisingly, does not handle ice as well as I was hoping for from a kid's aluminum bat, but it handled concrete just fine. I went and ran it on the range the other day again. It was still sighted in. Didn't have any problems at all. Everything looks clear today. And it has a nice protected outer shell really to the glass really, because you have a double ring design in the front here, and in the back you have this focus ring here, which is really good because the focus ring allows you to really focus in on that reticle. So let's say if you wear glasses, this might help quite a bit. And that brings me to the point of maybe a con for the Prism sight is it has something called eye relief, where, for example, this primary arms, MD20, which is a tried and true red dot. Love this red dot. This thing's been running forever. 50,000 hour battery life, 20,000 hour battery life. Just note that, but we'll talk about the etched reticle on here that makes it so that battery life is not as bad as you think. This right here, unlimited eye relief, which means you can push this out as far as you want or bring it in as close as you want, and you can still use that red dot. Whereas this has an eye relief of 2 to 7 inches, I believe. And what that means is if you bring this in real close, that reticle is gonna get small and the viewing window is gonna get real small, and you have black all around. So it makes it harder to use, but what makes it almost impossible to use is extended eye relief. So if you push it all the way out, you can't even find the reticle. You're gonna have it all shrunken down. It's gonna be out of focus, and it's pretty much unusable at a distance. So that's something about Prism that is going to be potentially a negative. However, there's an etched reticle in here, and is the ACSS reticle. We've talked about this reticle in the past. I'll throw some images up here on some of the different options on how you can use the reticle. Phenomenal features to it. I mean, it's great for pretty much any caliber, even shotguns. The actual inner ring is designed for a spread pattern of a shotgun shell, which is great. So even shotguns, they thought about 5.56, turning to blackout, 308, 9mm. Use this reticle for a variety of different calibers, and it's etched. Now what etched means is it is a black reticle, so you don't even need to use the battery. And that's actually something that I barely use, is the red function of this battery. There's a knob on the side here that allows you to crank up and down, plenty of brightness. Like, in fact, if you crank it up to the 13 mark on here, and how it is when you're looking at it, you'll see the number. There's no real indicator on there where the number is, but when you're looking straight, that's the number you're on. So 13 is almost too bright. If you were looking at that at night, you're gonna wash out the lens entirely. But I crank it down to probably like 5, if I need to, like 5, 6, maybe in daylight 7 or 8, and then you're gonna get a nice view of that reticle in there. And it works really well. Very bright, daylight bright, as we wanna make sure it handles that, especially on a bright sunny day. The adjustment knobs are 1 MOA clicks right here, windage and elevation. You can use, I usually use like a case, like a spent brass case on there. It does have a variety of mounting options. So box right here, that's what it comes in. By the way, Primary Arms sent this to me over a year ago to test, and I said I'm going to put it through its paces and potentially try to break it, which we have not done. We haven't really broken it yet. Screws. This is really cool. I do love their new standardized T-wrench for pretty much any of their new sights. It's the actual mounting right here, and the best part is it's big. All right, I absolutely hate the small wrenches for a scope or a red dot that is smaller than this, because even the way this is designed, you're gonna end up potentially stripping it out if you do the wrong size slightly, or if you're just in a hurry. Whereas a big one like this, nice T-handle, you can really work on these bolts just fine. And of course, the mounting tab itself has smaller screws, some longer screws, depending on what you want, because you have this cantilever right here. You have this option right here. You have a straight option right there, and you have a lower option right there, which is pretty cool. So you don't really have to worry about options in terms of how you want to set this up. Now, if you're running it on maybe something like a higher, I'm thinking maybe like a Scar or something like with taller sights you want to clear. Maybe you want to clear some iron sights, depending on what you want to do, shotguns, whatever it is you might want to run with a higher one. I chose kind of the middle of the road for an AR, but the straight up one works phenomenal as well. It's actually about almost the same height as the middle of the road right there. And the mounting has been great, no issues. I popped a few screws in this part here, and then the base itself, I usually grab like 2 or 3 screws. It comes with all the screws you need. In fact, I think I've lost a couple and I still have plenty over the last year. Battery compartments on the sides here. Let me go in. Right on the side is the battery compartment. Also, you do have the 3 night vision settings. The battery compartment without a bullet case on there is actually pretty hard to dislodge. There we go. It's probably a good thing. You can crank it down with that O-ring in there. It is a CR2032. See that right there. 20,000 hour battery life, which again seems like not as great compared to like traditional 50,000 hours you get on these or on any other varieties of optics that go on your handguns. However, 20,000 hour with a blacked out etched reticle, really no big deal. One interesting thing to note from this mounting design versus this mounting design, which is the Scalar Works. This is a T2 mounting, right? Kind of traditional 4 bolts. This is the ACOG Trigicon Mini mount, which kind of looks like a Trigicon Mini honestly too, but it's a 3-bolt design on the bottom. I don't really know which one's more solid. Probably this because it got bigger bolts, a little bit more bite on it. I really do like this kind of lighter design right here. And speaking of weight, just out of curiosity, what's the weight difference? Get our handy dandy scale. MicroPrism, 7.6 ounces. MD20, kind of your standard red dot, 4.3 ounces. So a few ounces heavier, but again, you get the etched reticle, you get a little bit more robust mounting option there. Give and take. So this thing's been through the ringer, been on a variety of calibers, and I dare to say, even though I do love this kind of footprint, and of course a bunch of brands make this footprint right here with 50,000 hours, unlimited eye relief, red, green dot, whatever, 12 settings, clicks. I am beginning to be a big fan of Prism, and that's because it's almost something you can replace your iron sights with as well. You don't need iron sights, and as a special treat for you guys for staying this long in the video, I just picked this guy up. Brand new, fresh out of the box. This is a Cox Arm Guardian AR-15. Now what this is pretty much a hand-built AR. These guys know quite a bit about engineering, putting these together, and just listen, this all has factory grease on it. Like, it is smooth as butter. Billet receiver, billet upper. This is a Cerakote job with almost like a space gray, like a graphite gray. Absolutely beautiful. 16-inch, of course, with everything going on nowadays. But absolutely gorgeous. And what you can do, let me show you how I set this up. This is about, with this cantilever right here, I usually set it about right in the middle. Loosen these up a bit. Show you where this is going to need to be for that eye relief we talked about. And again, this can replace your iron sights, or you could get flip up iron sights. You can kind of see how it's going to flip right in back there, and it'll work just fine. But because of that Prism, I don't know if you need iron sights, to be honest with you. Right there, perfect. Absolutely perfect. You can crank the knob just fine. Pulls up. I haven't even shot this yet. I'm in love. As soon as I saw it out of the box, I'm like, yep. I saw these guys at SHOT Show, reached out to them and said, hey, I gotta get one of these in to review, so expect a full review on this Cox Arms rifle right here. All made in the USA, all made in-house except for some of the extra features, of course. And the, what is it, the Gamma? Yeah, the Gamma 5.56, usually like a Delta. This is more of a muzzle brake, honestly, but we'll see how it holds up. Beautiful, beautiful. So if you're interested in picking up this Prism sight, links will be down below. Kill flash is extra, but you can add it in there, and I think it works really well. I would put this on before you bash the crap out of your sight for some reason. My testing, pretty sure it was the shotgun fall that messed this up, that just dinged just this corner right here, that outer kind of shell there. But it's got a couple of rings to protect the lens there. I just dinged it just a hair there, and that kind of upset me, but it's fine. You could probably like glue this on if you really wanted to. It gets like a couple threads on, and then it has fallen off in the past. So, phenomenal sight. If you guys are interested, check the link down below. And as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button, really helps me out. If you have any questions about this site or about anything you've seen in this video, hit them down in the comments, get down there. Take care, guys.